Hey everybody, Brad here with Arizona Grows. Just wanted to say hi and introduce this week's video. It's a weird mismatch of a bunch of different stuff, but we're going to get a look in the veg tent, we're going to get a look at the flower tent, we're going to do a harvest, we're going to put some stuff in the canitrol, we're going to take some stuff out of the canitrol. Some of the quality's not as good as I would like, but it's there, so we're just going to kind of piece it all together. So what you're going to be watching probably isn't the best video that I've ever put out in my life. Turn my pipe back on, but it's good. I mean, it's, you know, you're gonna get to see the end, and then next week things will start picking up. We're gonna be redoing the soil, we're gonna be planting all our tiki cuts in the 5x5. Things are gonna be going awesome, so you know, check it out, man. I think it's gonna be great. This video, you know, just set your expectations in the lower kind of region for my stuff. But next week, building the tray to grow, re-amending soil, starting the next run. Everything's gonna be super cool, man. I'm so ready. You'll see the sherbcake at the end came out super good. Love me some sherbcake. All right, guys, that's it. Just a quick intro. Brad here, Arizona Grows. Happy growing. Hey everybody, Brad here with Arizona Grows. Happy growing. I just wanted to say this week's video is like a quick little hodgepodge. We're in the tent. We're just gonna go over a few things. I think I have a little harvest video that I snuck in at the end. So we're gonna do a double look in the veg tent. One's like 4 days ago when I moved everything out of the veg tent and into the flower tent, and then the other one is gonna be today. And so you get two quick looks in the veg tent, quick look in the flower tent, but really the real content's going to start coming out next week. We're going to get our buckets ready, we're going to re-amend the soil, we're going to replant the whole flower tent, and then we're going to be off and running, guys. Off and running on the next round with all those tiki cuts and those DAS testers, the C testers that DAS sent us. We'll find out. C seeds are good, A seeds are good, B seeds are good. Made a couple crosses. We don't even know what's in them. It's going to be fun. Should be a blast. But I just want to tell you, it's a little harvest video, a couple little tours through the veg tent. There's not a lot going on right now, but the real content again. We're going to build a new tray to grow. We're going to re-amend the soil for all three beds, the 3XL, each 3 pots. We're going to build a new tray to grow soil, and we're going to re-amend the tray to grow that's in there. So a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of planning going on. We got the clones cut, so we're ready to dive in. Everything's going super well, and that's it. So just a quick update. Brad here, Arizona Grows. Happy growing, guys. Hey everybody, Brad here with Arizona Grows. I forgot to charge my mic today, so we're just kind of doing this one old school, but I just wanted to show you the sherbcake. We're going to be coming in and taking it down right now. Not all of it, because I don't think all of it will fit in the canitrol, but we're going to get most of it. And then, because, let me pull this down real quick. There we go. And then, because we're going to be taking it down, we'll be able to get the these two systems out of here, so we can restart the soil. We'll get out the easy to grow and the 3XL. We'll get in our other Autopot system, the tray to grow here. We'll put the 3XL back where the easy to grow systems are. And then we're gonna start moving in plants from the veg tent with the only thing being left to come down is the sherbcake. So next week we'll be doing a bunch of stuff. We'll be flipping the room. And once we start flipping the room, we will also, I'm going to take this whole thing right now. We will also be getting the plants for our tiki cuts in the veg stage, which will be nice. So we'll have the tiki cuts going. We'll have them in here vegging. If what's left on this sherbcake is going to go into 18.6 again, and for the last 8 days or whatever, and that'll be okay. I don't know if that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to play around with it. I always hear what's his face talk about it, Rasta Jeff from the Grow to Your Heart podcast, going 18.6 for the last weeks. Normally that's for seeds though. I don't know if he does that with his regular plants that he grows for flower. But I don't know, we might play around a little bit. It depends. I really don't want to wait another 8 or 10 days before we get started with the next round, but I also know this isn't all going to fit in the Canatrol. This is more than 3 pounds wet, like, without a doubt, 100%. So let's just get rid of some of these little hooks that we have. And you can see, I mean, I can tell you just from the denseness factor, and the smells there, fantastic. Sherbcake all day, every day. I'm smoking some already. We just had it come out of the Canatrol, and it's so good. It's got all the flavor. I think that batch, you know, we had to take some because we knew we were going to be in this position where it wasn't going to finish in time. That batch, I think, was a few days, you know, it was a little early, so it didn't have the full potency. But this definitely will. You can just tell from looking at these nugs that they are ready to go. And we'll be able to get rid of some of these, which will be nice. All right. Oh, they look so good in the trim bin. I'll have to get a video of what the trim bin looks like when we're done. These plants just, they're so good. They're heavy, super dense nugs. I'm very excited about having this back in my life. I smoked some before I came in here today because the last batch just came out of the Canatrol, which is why we have room to get more. And I was very, very pleased with it. Some of these I'm just taking the whole tops. I want to not only get as much out of here as possible, but all the bottoms look pretty done too. We didn't leave a lot. If you look, we left probably less than a third on this thing, and I don't know, it's so big, this Sherbcake. I don't even know how to talk about it in terms of what it is. It's the biggest plant I've ever grown. It's literally, it's a monster. And it just weighs so much. It's absolutely wild. Like, it smells so good. And I know it smells good because I'm already smoking it, because this is the second harvest off of this Sherbcake. Alright, get that out. That off. Boom. Look at that. It's just a big, juicy thing of nugs. Absolutely fantastic. And then, guys, I figure why I'm in here and we're harvesting, I thought it'd be funny. I just want to talk about a couple things, but I was listening to the show the other day, like a podcast. I'm not going to say who or whatever. I'm not trying to put anybody on blast. But they were talking about hydroponics, and it just, I know technically you could probably call like Floraflex or something hydroponics, or ebb and flow hydroponics, but that's, to me, hydroponics is the roots are in the water. If you're just running Floraflex or something like that, you're not doing hydroponics. You're just running cocoa, which is basically a soil, and you're running it with a drip system. So you're just running drip irrigation on soil with salts. Like, you're not doing anything super fancy or special. So the thing that bothers me is when people talk about, like, oh, I grow hydroponics, and it's like, you're just using cocoa and water, man. That's not, hydroponics is roots in water, either DWC, recirculating DWC, or, you know, that thing where the water moves down and then gets pumped back to the top, and the roots are always in water. And then on top of that, you could have aquaponics or aeroponics, but those have their own names. So for me, hydroponics, why it's a wide net, people make it a lot wider, wider than it should be. It's just plants grown as water is the medium, is the main medium for them. And I think, you know, we get away from that, and people want to say they do hydro or they do whatever, and they just don't understand it. And then also another pet peeve of mine is people talking about pH drift. When your plants eat in hydroponics, they release stuff into the soil, in this case into the water. They release, you know, the same nutrients. They're trying to make certain things available. In veg, you're going to see your stuff going up in pH, always in veg, always moving up. Your plants are trying to raise the target pH as they're eating, because that's the chemicals they exude as they eat. Right, so now you got the target pH coming up. In flower, they exude chemicals that make the pH go down. So the pH goes down, and you will need way more pH up than you do pH down, just from the simple fact that you're in flower longer than veg, hopefully, if you're doing things right. So that's just one of my things. I hear a lot of people talking about that stuff, and sometimes it just drives me absolutely bonkers. And it probably shouldn't, because I don't really care how you grow. If you're floraflexing and you're doing drip in cocoa and you want to call it hydroponics and you're killing it, call it hydroponics. Keep killing it. That's all that matters, is how you're growing, how happy you are with your grow. For me, Autopots, man, doing Autopots and organics has been the way. This is probably the easiest way I've ever grown in my entire life. Easier than DWC by far, especially because you're not doing weird bucket swaps and stuff. I can't say enough good things about growing in these Autopots organically. This Trader Grow system is the easiest one I've ever grown in. It's 20, I always say it wrong, I think it's 15, but it's 20 gallons of soil. It might even be 23, but it's at least 20 gallons of soil. And just look at this plant. I mean, I'm still cutting, my trim bin's already full, but I want to make sure I get enough. I want to get this big guy all the way in the back, because he's calling to me, and he's been back there for a long time. I don't know if I can reach it without smashing some of this other stuff, so I'm trying to not get my clothes all covered too. There we go. Oh, that one's heavy. Oh, that one's heavy. Boys and girls, this one is heavy. I don't even know if I can lift it up for you to get a look at that thing. Look at that nug right there. Absolutely huge. Wow. Wow. This one's so big. I'm gonna cut some of these branches off just to try to make it fit in the trim bin. Wow, guys. This plant is massive. Fucking Sherbcake, dude. We're definitely gonna get, I think we're gonna get a whole nother almost 2 canitrolls out of this Sherbcake. It is absolutely bigger than I planned on. By a lot. By a lot. See, I'm just trying to get the ones now that have flopped over the most, because the other ones will stay. You know, if they're up a little bit, they're going to be just fine. And then you have to be careful, because these nugs are so dense. Like, I move them into my tray, right? But they're so dense that the fear for me is that I do not, because they're so dense, that even though it looks like a small amount in the tray, the wet weight is going to be much more than anticipated. Oh man. Alright. Yeah, that guy too. See. Put those on. And it's interesting over here, you can see some of the leaves are like bright green because they haven't ever been in the light. They've been buried under all this nuggage. I don't know if nuggage is a word, but if it is, we just made it up and we'll love it. Love it. All right. So I think that's where we're going to end it today. We got to get the last few nugs of this grape lemon cherry off too. And then we got the mound of Sherbcake, and I think that's it. So the next harvest video, we probably won't do like a full video. I'm just going to come in, get this crap out of here, reset the tent, and then what we'll do is play with the settings on the next one. We're going to write down our settings from this last round. We're going to play with it again. I really enjoyed the herb. Tastes great. I feel like maybe I dried it just a little too fast, so I'm going to tweak the dry settings, leave the cure where it is, and we're just going to play with that for right now on this next batch of Sherbcake. But Sherbcake's all that's left. I'm going to take all this grape lemon cherry really quick that's left. We're just going to fit it in with everything else and call it a day. Get it all in one go without cutting my finger. Perfect. All right, let me bring the camera around. We'll get a quick look at the pile in the thing, and then we'll go from there. But I think we'll leave it here unless we end up with some more. I mean, these guys are ready right here too. I'm just gonna take them. All right. Oh man, there's so much. All right, I don't think it'll fit. If we can fit more in, we'll come and cut some more. All right, let's get a look at this. I'm gonna move it into the light for when I bring my camera over. And then we'll talk about canitrol settings after I get it loaded up. All right, and we're back. Let's get a quick look at this. Isn't this nuts? This Sherbcake. Mountain of Sherb. Absolutely crazy. I think that'll be enough to fill up the canitrol. I'm going to start wet trimming now, and we'll go from there. But Brad here, Arizona Grows. I'll be back in a little bit. We'll go over the canitrol settings again. We're going to tweak them just a tad. Sherbcake, absolutely phenomenal. All right, Brad here, Arizona Grows. Happy growing. Hey everybody, Brad here with Arizona Grows. I thought I'd just really quick show you, we have our last harvest just finished. Everything's done in the canitrol. Right now we're sitting at 64.5 degrees, 50 for the dew point, and we're at 59% humidity. If it went down to 64, we'd be at 60% humidity, so that half a degree is the difference there. But that's because I set my room to 74. This only maintains a 10 degree difference of the room. My room's at 74 right now, but it's only been there for a day. So before that I had it set at 72, and this was at 64 the whole time instead of 64.5. But let's take a quick look inside. Oh, buddy. Can you see this? This is the Sherbcake. Look at this snug. Absolutely incredible. Alright, this whole thing's Sherbcake. Let's, we got a jar right here. I'm just going to start jarring it up. In the first jar, I'm just going to go through and try and grab everything that's a little bit smaller. So like most of this tray here will go in. Any of these small things off the side, I'm just going to jar up first. I'm going to try to put, I'm actually going to open both of my jars, and we'll put the bigger nugs in the separate one. I'm not even sure if I'm going to have enough jars to do this. While I'm doing this, I'm just going to close it so we don't lose any of our perfection. But let's go. We have the night owl stickers all over the unit. This is all Sherbcake. It's all going in. Now you have to remember these nugs are about the third of the size of what they were when I grabbed them. And I'm just going to pause this really quick while I go in and drop all these nugs, and then we will come back and we'll take a super quick look at it. Alright, 1 second. Alright, we're down to the final 2 trays, and these looks really good, so I just kind of wanted to do these ones on camera. We have our jars down here, just so you can get a quick look. I don't even know. We'll get them closer in a second. Let's see if we can get this in here. I'm kind of crammed in a corner over here, but I thought some of these looked really nice, so I just wanted to show them off on camera if I could. Like this nug here. Just absolutely fantastic. I mean, there's just tons of them. It's like this nug here. This one here. I mean, the big nugs off of this are absolutely out of control. My fingers are all sticky. But these two trays right here had a bunch of really large nugs on them, so I thought that would be a nice place to kind of start as we filled up, you know, a lot of these smalls already. And the smalls, you have to remember again, guys, these are you know, about 1/3 of the size is when they went into the canitrol. So when you hold up a nug that's a nice big nug, that's a, you know, that's a nug that used to be 3 times the size before you put it in for the dry cure. Wow, some of these are really nice. Just looking at them as we go. All right, and the final tray out of here. Look at this. Isn't that fantastic? Absolutely fantastic. Let's see if we can get some of these to focus. It's so great. And there's so many of these big nugs. I mean, look. 2 more. It's another really good looking nug. Let's see, we're just separating right now. Smalls in one jar, mediums and mostly larges in the other jar. The other jar filled up super fast with the big nugs in it. I try to leave a little bit more room in the jars with the big nugs because if there is any off-gassing or anything that still needs to happen, it's going to happen pretty quickly in there. I'm just going to leave that because I have a 3rd jar right now. I'm just going to fill that one. And then we'll just look at these really quick. We'll see what we ended up with. Because there's no reason to overstuff your jars, guys. One little small nug. Alright, and that's the whole canitrol full. So let me get this off really quick. Alright everybody, we have the Sherbcake is done out of the canitrol. Just look at these fantastic nugs, dude. Just all the way around. These are all the bigs. Fantastic. These are all the smalls. You can see they are also looking quite fantastic. And some of these are pretty medium-sized nugs. And then we just had a few leftovers to go in. These will be the things we smoke first. So I'm going to seal it all up. Get ready. We have a little bit more of the Sherbcake to come out. That'll come out tonight. Go in the canitrol tonight. And then we're on to the next round, guys. We're going to start re-amending the soil and planting everything. It's going to be great. Alright, Brad here, Arizona Grows. Happy growing. Hey everybody, Brad here with Arizona Grows. Just wanted to get in a quick little video. We're in the MarsHydro 4x4, the veg tent. In the tent we have the SF3000, I think. It's the bar style light, the smallest one. It's made for the 3x3, perfect size for a 3x3. We have it in a 4x4. It's been great in here. It actually, I think, might even be plenty of light for in here. I don't think I've ever turned it above 50% unless I'm really raging the autos. This is our tomato plant. I just watered it right now. It needed some water, but you can see in here we've got tomatoes. I just lifted this up, this branch, so it's in a different place right now, so it looks a little maybe congested. We got tomatoes. You can see where I watered. We got tomatoes all through here. They're starting to come out everywhere. Isn't that great? And I had to do a major trimming because it was starting to overtake this guy over here. And this is that whiskey diesel or whatever from Daz. And then, let's see. Got my glasses on. Alright. So this is the Red Ball SOS from Daz. You can see we had some problems starting, but look at it now. This plant's super healthy, tray to grow. I mean, we did put it in soil. We literally made the day before, which was probably not the best idea. There's been some funky stuff. There were a bunch of tomatoes that started growing in here. I'm not exactly sure where the tomato seeds came from. I'm almost 100% sure they didn't come from my tomato plant. I do put tomatoes in my worm bin, so they could have come from the worm castings. But earlier today there were 10 tomato plants in here, and I pulled them all out now that the autoflowers are getting big, and that I've cleared all my plants that are going into flower for the next run in here. And we might have something fun to talk about in that regard soon. This is the Blue Power Auto. Again, these were put in brand new soil. They were covered with a lot of other plants. It's also been cold in here, in the 60s probably, 68 degrees, so it hasn't been perfect conditions. But these plants from Daz are still rolling. I can't even tell you what happened here. It was either some nutrient burn, got sprayed with something happened. Happened on both those leaves, a little bit on the tip over here. But those are the autos. They're still going, they're still in veg. I think in this soil, it's so light that even though I totally messed them up, they're still in veg just because they know. They're like, the soil's light and fluffy, we're expanding our roots, everything looks good. I think in the future I'd probably only do 2 plants in the tray to grow, but I had the 3 packs and I really wanted to grow all of them. We did have a problem with that first whiskey. It probably died like a week in, didn't really germinate right, so I popped another one. But the Red Ball SOS in the center here and this Blue Power are cruising. My guess is the next run in this soil will be better. I also added some worms in from the Brothers Worm Farm, red wigglers. So that's what's going on in here. So we got the autos cruising. Even this one over here, who until this morning was covered up by this tomato plant. I've been doing some work on that today, trying to get rid of some of these things and make sure that our new flowers are also going to get tomatoes. We have plenty of pollen floating around. The carrots in here, a little, they needed water, so they're down a little bit, but it might be time to harvest those. I mean, look how big these things are. It's just in a 10-gallon pot. It's wild. But everything over here going really good. We flipped the light this morning back to 18.6 in the flower tent. So let's take a look in here. This is the MarsHydro 5x5. We're under that SF 6500. Man, this light is so great. I love this light. I can't say enough good things about it. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, we've just been absolutely killing it. This is the the FCE 6500 from MarsHydro. Sometimes I say SF for Spider Farmer, and I haven't used any Spider Farmer gear in probably like 2 or 3 years, so I'm not sure why I do that. My first light ever was a Spider Farmer. Since then, I moved on to MarsHydro, and I've been having great results. I've been loving this MarsHydro light, the FCE 6500. It's been absolutely incredible. You can tell the 4x4 would have been a little crowded, because look, we had all this crammed in there. Just plants and plants and plants. Today, this one I just put in a 1 gallon today and added a bunch of new soil to it. But what we're going to do later is we're going to get all our clones going now. It's time to get the clones going. So that's where we're at next. Next will be the clone shop. I mean, we're not selling clones or anything. Clone shop meaning I will take clones of everything, and then I will shoot those over to my neighbor's house where I keep my little clone tent. That way we stay within plant counts to keep our government friends happy. But, in exchange for me paying him like $20 a month for his electric and, dropping off some weed every now and then, he's more than happy to have a little 2x4 tent set up in his spare room. That might change in the future, but right now it's a totally working deal, which lets me have these plants, and then I'll be able to take clones of them and shoot them over to his house. where they'll grow and be happy and be ready for the next round. Or if we find something that we really like in here, we'll have it. But everything in here has gone absolutely crazy. We have the golden gorilla, all of our stuff from Tiki Cuts, neon sunshine from the last round, which we might sneak in there again. We have some extra golden gorilla cuts in here just that we took because the original plant got too big. It's still too big. This is actually the second plant. This was just the top of the original golden gorilla. That thing's a grower, guys, so if you ever grow it, it's a grower. It's going to grow hard. But yeah, right now we just have everything moved in here until we take clones, and then we might have some new stuff to share later on about something else we're going to add to this. But right now everything is looking good. You can see the Sherbcake still over there. We'll harvest that 5 more days when the canitrol's done, and then we'll be able to get this Sherbcake down, and then this will be the run that we play with the Sherbcake and decide, hey, are we gonna go 6-day dry in the canitrol, maybe 7-day dry, 4-day cure? We'll play around. Everything else will be in the thing. So we have plenty of product for ourselves, and it'll be nice to do a little test. If it doesn't work out, the worst I'm gonna do is get some over-dried bud. It won't be moldy, it won't be bad, be something for edibles. But that's what's fun with the canitrol, is you can play and find your perfect settings. All right, everybody, just a quick update. Brad here, Arizona Grows. Happy growing.